I've been hearing a lot of things online as far as immigrations and things of that nature when it comes to Europe, but also I've been seeing more of a religious front. And then I had a buddy who recently went to Denmark, right? And it came across my desk that apparently Denmark has a law where it's illegal to be racist, which I thought, that's a pretty cool law, right? Who wants to be racist? I understand Southern Europe, from my perspective, you can correct me if I'm wrong, for all of the Europeans who watch me, had mass immigration. But apparently, it looks like it's also in the northern part as well. I seen this video and I got curious, right? They said something happened against Islam. So I said, you know what? I want to watch this video, but I want to watch it for the first time with y'all, so I don't have any preconceived notions. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
Denmark may have become Europe's toughest Western fortress against radical Islam. Not Sweden, not France,
Like,
not
comment,
Germany.
subscribe.
A country of about 6 million people, smaller than the population of London, has built a wall around its own civilization. Not just a border wall, a legal wall, a cultural wall, a political wall. Denmark tightened borders. They cracked down on parallel societies, passed aggressive anti-ghetto laws, banned full-face
Anti-what
veils,
law?
banned prayer rooms in schools, slashed asylum approvals to a historic low, and openly rejected the multicultural model spreading across much of Europe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was like that. I did not know it was like that. I thought Denmark was considered one of the places in Europe where it's like super open, super accepting. I thought it was like similar to Sweden, but even more open, right? They got laws saying you can't be racist. I thought they kind of so accepted everybody. We don't care about your race, religion, belief system, etc. But apparently it looks like they're banning all these things. I did not know. I'm learning today as the first time. I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been a little bit sleep on Europe because my last couple trips have been Asia. So this is interesting to see. It's good to know before I go to Europe again, right?
In 2026, Denmark is no longer asking whether integration will work. It's trying to prevent civilizational fragmentation before it begins. While Brussels still debates, Copenhagen has already decided. And in the spring of 2026, the country took one more step that almost nobody outside of Denmark saw coming. A step that may end up rewriting the entire European debate about Islam, integration, and the future of Western Europe itself. But to understand how Denmark got here, we have to start somewhere unexpected. Because the country drawing Europe's hardest line was, for most of recent memory, one of the most open and liberal societies on the entire.
And that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like an open society. People can do as they want. Come in, oh, we'll accept you. We don't care. Blase, blase. So to hear all this, it's mind blowing to me. It's new to me. I always thought they were considered like super open, right?
For decades, Denmark was the textbook Scandinavian success story, a famously generous welfare state, some of the highest levels of social trust in the world. Universal healthcare, free university, low corruption, and almost obsessive belief that the state and the citizen owed each other a fair deal. Foreign visitors used to write entire books about how the Danes seemed to have cracked the code of modern civilization.
known to be the
Immigration was part of that confidence. Through the 1990s and into the early 2000s, Danish elites largely believed that integration would happen on its own. Hand people language classes, plug them into the welfare state, give it a generation, and the new arrivals would simply become Danes. That was the theory. Well, the reality turned out to be very different. By the mid-2000s, Danish authorities were quietly producing reports that nobody really wanted to read. Unemployment among non-Western immigrants was running multiple times higher than for native Danes. Only around 55% of children from non-Western backgrounds were completing upper secondary education.
Now, that does raise a question, though. I'll be honest. That does raise a question. Is it assimilation? Or is it lack of opportunity? Is it not applying themselves? I'm curious. As someone who has never been to Denmark but would love to visit, I always see it's rated one of the happiest countries, if not the happiest. Gets good ratings. From my understanding, it's super safe. And when I was looking at places to potentially relocate to in Europe, last year and some time before that, I constantly seen Denmark pop up because apparently they have what I value is clean food. So here in America, unfortunately, well, I'm in Thailand now, but I'm American. But in America, over 80% of the food is heavily processed. So one of the biggest moving factors for me was going somewhere where there's clean food. So that's why Denmark kept popping up on the list. And then at the same time, they say it was one of the safest countries. So those two things are big for me. And it's kind of close to the water, right? So I'm like, well, not kind of, it is close to the water. So those three things were like the selling point for me personally. But I want to listen to a little bit more of this. And I am extremely curious to know everyone's opinion on my Europeans. I've been getting a lot of European viewers lately, especially with everything going on. Europeans going to America, Americans going to Europe. I am extremely curious to know some of the European people's perspective. Most importantly, people who have lived and or visited to Denmark. Please leave a comment and or question down below so I can get to it. But let's go to the video a little bit.
By age 25, against roughly 85% of ethnic Danes. Entire neighborhoods were forming where the majority of residents shared neither the language nor social codes of the country around them. Welfare dependency in certain immigrant-heavy areas was sitting at levels that, on a national scale, would have bankrupted the entire Danish model. And then the public mood began to shift. Surveys began picking up something that the political class had spent years pretending not to see. Ordinary Danes were not opposed to immigrants as people, but what they were terrified of losing was the thing that made Denmark, Denmark. The high-trust, low-friction social glue that allowed a tiny country to run one of the most expensive welfare states on Earth. You cannot run a Nordic welfare system without a deep, almost instinctive sense that the people around you will play by the same rules that you do.
Honestly, that kind of makes sense. Now, I hope the guy who made this video doesn't have a certain agenda he's pushing where he wants people to see things only from this point of view, and not consider anyone else's. But I will say it kind of makes sense as far as the high trust they were saying, and that, we have this type of welfare state. We want to keep it in operation. I can understand the change, like, right, if you bring in different mindsets, different personalities, different belief systems, different cultures, things could change. Hopefully they're able to all come to some type of agreement, some type of understanding where the society continued to grow. Because Denmark, like he said, does have a good reputation. Me personally, I can't wait to go. It's only a matter of time. It's like out of all the countries in the world, it's probably in the top 15 as far as places I want to visit. I've been to like 4 other European countries, but yeah, I definitely want to go to Denmark, hopefully sooner than later, right? And if I do, I'm definitely going to vlog it and upload on YouTube, all that type of stuff. Why not? But I'm curious, what do y'all think about this whole situation? Do you think it's right that they are building walls, as he says? Is it even true what he's saying? Because like I said, I didn't see any of this upon my original research. Maybe it slipped through the cracks, or I missed it somehow, overlooked it, etc. Or maybe because I was thinking, maybe because I wasn't looking for that, being an American, that I missed it. But I'm curious to know what y'all think. Let me know down below.